In the 18.2 video, we showed how to filter individual vertex and edge steps in the graph using raw queries in the Gremlin pattern matching query language. Zendaya 3.3 has Query Builder, a simplified user interface for doing the same thing without knowing Gremlin. In this video, we will show some examples of this using our knowledge of the Zendaya Cloud Graph data model described in the 18.1 video. In the home screen of the Zendaya Cloud web interface, I get a count of all the elements saved in Zendaya Cloud. Scrolling down, I hover over Containers and see there are 38 of all types. Going to the Graph Queries page, I select the Query Builder mode and use the pull-down menu under the label to select Container. At the top is the actual Gremlin query. When I click Run, all 38 vertices that have the label Container appear. I can arrange them in a grid array for easier visibility. We will use filters to refine the query. One property of a container is its name. So I will select Name as the property key and Unmanned Aerial Vehicle as the property value. I must click the plus to add it to the selected properties, then I click Close. Notice that a new filter marker has appeared and the Gremlin query is modified. When I click Run, 2 containers remain. According to the color key at right, one is from Jira, the other TestRail. I can add a second filter to down-select further. Remember from the graph data model that a container is owned by a repository and typed by a container type. I can filter by those relationships as well. The pull-down menu at the top gives me access not only to the container I am filtering, but to its repository and container type as well. I choose Repository and set the repository name property to TestRail at Intercax. I click plus again to add it to the filter list and close. A new filter marker appears, and the Gremlin query at the top is longer. If you followed the 18.2 video, this new conditional should be familiar. Running the query leaves only a single TestRail container. We can also filter by container type. We'll delete the 2 current filters by clicking on the X in the filter markers and add a new filter, selecting Container Type, Name, and Project, where Project is the name of a Zendaya container for intermodal connections. Run, and we will see the 11 current Zendaya projects managed by this instance of Zendaya Cloud. We can use Query Builder with all edge and vertex elements. I will set up an example for a relation. I want only the latest version of the relation, so I filter by the relation property isLatest equal to true. I also want relations from only one Zendaya project, DZSB01, so I filter the container owning the relation. Running the query still shows a lot of different relations and artifacts. I will add 2 new filters. I only want to see reference connections and connections that terminate in Jira issue UAV 96. To limit the results to reference connections, I go to relation type and set the property skey to REL type 3. Now this value comes from the relationship table that I talked about making at the end of the video 18.2. Here I see that the reference connection has an skey value of rel type 3. I could also have filtered by name equals reference connection, but sk is shorter and unique. Finally, I select Target Artifact in the top pull-down menu and set the named filter by as UAV.96, a JIRA issue. The final Gremlin query has 5 conditionals: testing that the vertex is a relation, that the relation is the latest version, that the relation type is rel type 3, a reference connection, that it is owned by a container DZSBO1, and that the target end of the relation ends at UAV96. Running the query gives this result. For Syndea Release 3.3, this is about the most complex query that can be built with Query Builder alone. In the next video, we will show some examples of more complex extended patterns using the Gremlin query language directly.